Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final round of Ultimate Team Stage. We are down to 4 matches. Got our 7th, 5th, 3rd, and 1st place matches tonight. And no Steve tonight. He's still got some moving stuff, obviously, in the middle of a big move. So gonna be running this one solo tonight. So for folks watching, please stay active in the chat and can give me someone to converse with while I'm messing with the famed wheel or infamous wheel, depending on which team you are. But matches we got for tonight are Coleman versus Wausau West, McGuanago versus Holman, Marshfield versus Kaukauna, and then for the finals is Rapids and Amory. Marshfield Kaukauna is the 3rd place match, McGuanago Holman 5th, and Coleman Wausau West is going to be the 7th place match. So let me share the screen here quick. All right, Coleman versus Wausau West. So we did the weight draw last time. What's up, Tim? Looks like you're the only one on right now. So just me and you talking about this in the moment. You want to send your prediction over for the matches, but yeah, Coleman versus Wausau West first, starting off at heavyweight for this final round. Let me get my document pulled up. All right, so Brody Zahn versus Athen Summers. Zahn, of course, 3rd place state finisher. Quick tail of the tape on the teams. Coleman team state runner-ups in Division III. Wausau West was regional runner-ups to Marshfield, who we'll be talking about in a couple of matches here. But Brody Zahn versus Athen Summers first. Gave Zahn a straight up 3. And I know Zahn is kind of a pinning machine himself, but Summers is a very tough wrestler, has some good losses to guys this year that I don't know, he just didn't get pinned by pretty good guys, and Zahn kind of falls in that category. So in a dual setting, kind of figured that this would just be a decision. All right, first match up here, or sorry, not first match, but 106. We got our first swing match of the night. First of many swing matches for only 4 duels. We got Connor Markowitz versus Tai Yang. Got a straight up swing match here, 50-50. And it looks like Yang does get the victory. So puts Wausau West on the board, knocks things up at 3. Raymond Lemieux versus Chris Galong. This one is 35-65 for a major or a pin for Lemieux. Let me get the correct stuff in. And Coleman loses a tough swing match the match prior, but Lemieux able to pick up a couple of bonus points here for Coleman. Up next at 120, Nowak versus Zhang. Gave Nowak a straight up 3 in this one. Brady Gross versus Gavin Lang. This one's either going to be a decision or a major. 30% chance of a decision, 70% chance of a major in this one. This is kind of in the meat of Coleman's lineup right now. And it does end up being a major. So picking up another bonus point there for the Coleman Cougars is Gross. 132, Chance Gruber and Jacob Pease. This one we got in swing match territory, but it's 75-25 in favor of Gross. And wow, look at that. Wausau West picking up their 2nd swing match win here. Underdog Pease picking up a big victory Micah Kukta versus Gabe Galong at 138. This one we have as a major or a pin for Galong. Really excited to see how Galong does this year after looking at his track resume a few times during this series. Definitely think he's going to be someone that makes some waves this year. So 40% chance of a pin, a 60% chance of a major. And Coleman, while they lost the swing. Sorry, this is a pin going towards Wausau West. So Coleman giving up bonus points there. Makes it 16-12 Coleman heading into 145. 145, let me make one change here real quick. Coleman does bump up Carson Casper and Will Bieber. So Cortez Ramiro will be wrestling Gabe Ramos. And Ramos does pick up a pin there at 145. 152, Casper versus Heisler. Got this one either as a major or a pin for Casper. Kind of leaning towards a pin, though. And a pin it is, as Casper picks up a much needed 6 points for Coleman. So we get closer to the meat of Wausau West lineup, which with Wausau West lineup, they're just pretty deep in general. 160 pounds, Will Bieber versus Connor Calms. This one is going to be a 3-wheeler, no 4-wheelers tonight, folks. But this one's either going to be a decision major or a pin for Bieber. 10% chance of a pin, leaning towards a major in this one. And it ends up being a major there. So Bieber picks up 4. Makes it 26-18 for Coleman. Next up, Peter Kukta versus Reed Napawaki. Got this one as a major or a pin for Napawaki. Leaning towards a major, though. Welcome to the show, Matt. Get to say you make it for all 4 of the duels tonight as we're ending up on the tail end of this one. And all right, real quick, sorry about this. The 70% was supposed to be for a major. That is my bad. Got nothing to. We're gonna shuffle around the wheel here. That was don't want technical difficulties, and so it lands in the 70% again. I feel fine that it ends up being a major here for Napawaki. And always got to have a little controversy in a wrestling tournament, right? 182 pounds, Klimek versus LaRue. Klimek does pick up 3 here against LaRue, but Wausau West can't ask for much better closers than Joe Behrens and Colton Gearing. As Behrens, we have picking up a pin against Sawyer Seafelt. And then Gearing gets another pin to win in Ultimate Team State, as that makes the final score 34-29, Wausau West. So Wausau West comes in as the 15 seed, ends up finishing 7th. Coleman is 8th. Next up, we got McGuanago and Holman. McGuanago losing that team sectional final to Stoughton. Holman was the team state runner-ups. Lost a tough rematch last week to Kaukauna in a team state finals rematch, a hypothetical team state finals rematch. First match up here, we got Coleman. Tim was the 5 seed, so ended up finishing pretty close to their seed. Next one is McGuanago and Holman. We got Wolfgang Schnabel versus Ron White. Let me get the team names put in here. So this one has a lot of heavyweight matches. We have as a 90-10, but it's 6 points either way. 90-10 in favor of Schnabel. McGuanago was the 8 or 9 seed in this tournament. Holman came in as the 6. So Schnabel picks up a pin to start off the duel. Stakowski versus Thiel. Stakowski, great wrestler, first girl to qualify the boys state tournament in Division 1, I believe. And she's going against Camden Thiel, who against pretty good wrestlers, he was able to hold his own. We gave Stakowski a straight up 3 here, just using comparable common opponents between the two. That's the conclusion we came up with. 113 pounds, Brian Whipple versus Turner Campbell. Gave 6 to Campbell in this one to get the Vikings on the board. 120 pounds, we got Adam Whittier versus Dom Ammerman. Again, gave Whittier a straight up 3 here. 126 pounds, Brady Wiersbicki versus Andrew Weiss. We got a decision or a major in favor of Weiss. And in a duel like this, every bonus point is going to matter. So it's 65% chance of a decision, 35% chance of a major. Thank you, Tim, for keeping tabs on that. That's it's fun to keep track of that stuff. Maybe I should do it for see how all the teams did compared to their seed. Weiss does pick up a major in this one. 132 pounds, Cradaville versus Roberts. Got this one as a major or a pin for Cradaville. 25% chance of a major, 75% chance of a pin. And Roberts almost fights off a pin there, but Cradaville ends up picking up another 6 for Holman. Tyler Yan versus Jacob Wazinski is next here. And going back to the 3-wheel, got a 40-50-10 for decision, major, or a pin. So let me get the numbers put in. And Jan ends up picking up just a decision there at 138. So nice job by Wazinski to hold off bonus points. That brings the score of the duel as we head to intermission. Fake intermission. We're not actually going to take an intermission. 19-12 Holman. 145 Thomas Jungworth versus Parker Cradaville. Cradaville does pick up a straight pin here to start off the second half of this duel. Cody Gable and Branson Beers at 152. At this one as a decision or a major for Gable in favor of a major. So 30% chance of a decision, 70% chance of a major. All right, Matt and Tim, pretty similar scores here for this final duel result. This Cody Gable gets a major at 152 pounds. 160 pounds, Zach Elajeski and Benson Swadek. This one going right back to the 3-wheel. Have either a major tech or a pin. And it's kind of spread out throughout, more than likely looking at a tech with some slight odds, 40% chance of a tech, 30% chance of a major or pin. And it ends up being a tech fall. So must have picked up some back points near the end of the match there, as we got a pretty close one on the wheel. £170, Alex Jacoby and Kyle Gerald. This one got a little bit of a swing match, but it's a 90-10 in favor of Gerald. So Jacoby could pick up a big win here. But nonetheless, Gerald comes in as the favorite, locks up the win at 170 pounds. Makes it 28-21 Holman. Hayden Chitwood versus Dylan Lethan. So we got 3 for Chitwood, 3 for Dane Crimplebine against Griffin Banks at 195 pounds. Then 220 comes down to a swing match here. We got Carson Westcott versus Ryan Major. This is a 60-40 in favor of Westcott. So I just want to double check the score again. Another duel that essentially comes down to the last match. And it looks like it does go in Ryan Major's favor as he picks up a win for McGuanago. And we got time, only 4 duels tonight. But McGuanago does get the victory 30-28. Oh, yeah, Tim, you would have been spot on if you got that one right. I'm going to check the bracket for you real quick. Oh, that's the wrong bracket. We'll take a look at what seed McGuanago was. I know they were 8 or 9 because they faced off against Milton in the second round. So we got our YouTube bracket up here. And McGuanago was the 8 seed. So McGuanago ends up finishing 5th place as the 8 seed. Holmen matching their seed, finishing at 6th. As we head on to the 3rd place match, Marshfield versus Kaukauna, a match that we very well could have seen in the actual team state finals. Marshfield losing the semis, Kaukauna, of course, winning the D1 team state title. Starting off at 285, we got Adrian Kruger versus Ben Kruger, battle of the Krugers. And we are starting off with a straight swing match. Marshfield comes into this as the 7 seed. Kaukauna was the 4 seed. So both teams, Marshfield automatically outperforming their seed. Kaukauna looking to lock up a top 3 finish here. And this could be a big swing match to start off here for either team, as Marshfield's Kruger does pick up the first victory to get Marshfield on the board first here in this 3rd place duel. Next up is Ava Gardner versus Michael Pazorski. 106 and 113. Pazorski and Hansen both have a pretty good edge on Gardner and Jace Kellenhofer. Kaukauna does pick up 12 points in a row at 106 and 113. At 120 pounds, Lucas Peters has a major or a tech against Caleb Denny, and Caleb Denny, a very good wrestler, but Lucas Peters, of course, a state runner up this year at 120 pounds. We got this one, 50-50 chance for a major or a tech. And Peters just gets the major on Denny. Next up, Brian Winans versus Graydon Road. Winans, we gave a straight 6-2, so Kaukauna continues to run in a spot, where we're expecting them to have a pretty good run. 132, Keegan Cliver versus Connor Smith. We got another swing match here. This one slightly in favor of Smith. One common opponent here, Preston Cradaville from Holmen. Cliver did lose to Cradaville. I think he had to be going for bonus points or something, but still, he lost to Cradaville. Smith did beat Cradaville in the same tournament. So let's see what the wheel has to say about this matchup. As Connor Smith lands smack dab in the middle, could have been 1% chance of a win for Smith, and he still would have got it. 138 pounds, Grayson Clark versus Hoyt Blaskowski. So Kaukauna sent first at Kaukauna made Marshfield send first at 138. Marshfield thinking that this is the better of the matchups here. Kaukauna thinking that Clark versus Blaskowski and Lee versus Franklin could be a potentially net better matchup. This one we got as a major or a pin for Clark. It is leaning towards a major. I know with Grayson Clark probably could throw a tech in here a tech option because you know what he can do on top, but just have a pin or a major in this one. And Grayson Clark does pick up the pin on Blaskowski. You have to assume it comes out of a pretty good scramble between the two. Then at 145, Brett Franklin versus Peyton Lee. Did give Franklin a straight 6. Lee just has a lot of pins against him on track wrestling from last year. And Franklin, of course, not just by his record, but by his resume, felt pretty good about giving Franklin a straight 6. 152, Owen Griesbach versus Toby Kavanaugh. Got this one as 70-30 in favor of Griesbach. And I thought for a second the wheel was going to come around to Kavanaugh, but Griesbach does pick up the victory to make it 12-31 in favor of Kaukauna. We got 5 matches left. Garrett Willywhite versus Judah Hammond. This one is 60-40 in favor of Willywhite. It's 1-1 in swing matches right now. And that extra 10% for Willywhite ends up playing to his advantage as he picks up a win by decision over Hammond. Ryan Doziel looks to continue the momentum here for Marshfield against Cole Tomczyk. Did give straight 6 to Doziel, makes it 31-21 as we end the duel with 3 straight swing matches. So I think we can give a little more assessment after the duel. But I think Kaukauna does have this one locked up points wise. I think, in a real life duel, probably see Marshfield guys start going for pins or something, or bonus points in some fashion. But in this one, it will not matter as Drew Wenzicki picks up a win over Cameron Denny in what a match I would have loved to have seen in real life. Next one is Cody Wykes versus Bryant Correa. Another good match between solid wrestlers. This one's 70-30 in favor of Wykes. And all right, folks, that was wrong. Okay. I should have put the 70. We're gonna redo that one. That was my bad. Should have been 70% on Marshfield. I'm not on my A game tonight. I guess I'm not a clutch finals performer here. And I thought I was gonna land on Kaukauna again. That would have solved a lot of problems, but Wykes does pick up the victory here. 220 pounds, James Clements versus Jordan Luce, ending with another swing match. So 50-50, so I can't mess this one up. And Luce finishes the duel with a victory here. And that'll make the final score Kaukauna 37, Marshfield 24. Tim, you're not just close, you're right on the dot, man. And I think aside from Marshfield picking up a couple more swing matches, I think a pin by Grayson Clark, even in a real life duel, that'd be a cause for a lot of momentum. So we head to our finals here. Rapids versus Amory. Rapids, of course, losing it to Holman in a tough regional, and kind of, maybe one of the reasons, we did this was to show that, teams, looking at seeds quick, Tim, after I give my preamble for the finals, kind of one of the teams that, if they had a shot in a dual format, I think we probably could have seen them down at Teen State. And that's coming from a Holman guy too. But Amory, of course, D2 Team State champs, 2-time champions in a row. We got a pretty good matchup here. Tim, real quick, the seeds on that. Marshfield was a 7 seed. Kaukauna was the 3 seed. Kaukauna was the 4 seed. So Kaukauna 4, Marshfield 7. Kaukauna with a 3rd place finish, Marshfield 4th. Starting off at heavyweight here, we got Robert Beasy versus Josh Hansen. BZ does pick up a pin to start off this duel. 106 pounds. Landon Freeman versus Brendan Burke. Could be a pretty good matchup here. One common opponent for sure is Freeman did beat Christopher Anderson of Sun Prairie 9-4, while Burke lost to him lost to Anderson by 2 points, I should say. Burke's still a pretty solid wrestler, though. We gave Freeman a straight up 3 here. Next up, Preston Spray versus Lane Anderson. Anderson, again, another solid wrestler, but Spray, state champion, that gauntlet of 113-pound D1 bracket. We're giving them either a major or a tech. It's a 50-50. And Spray, it does close off his ultimate team state performance with a tech fall over Anderson. No, gotta have a proud dad online watching this duel right now. 120 pounds, Aiden Armagost and Braden Pernard. Got this one either as a tech or a pin for Armagost. And it's leaning slightly in favor of a pin. Him not putting a score. That's fair on that one. So, Matt, we're kind of depending on you here for getting a score. And Armagost keeps the bonus point streak rolling as he picks up a pin at 120 pounds. Carter Freeman versus Hunter Beasy. This one also leaning towards a pin, 70-30 in favor of a pin over a tech. 36-33. It's a pretty good duel you got put together there, Matt. A score we could potentially see tonight, I think. Carter Freeman looking to get more than 33 points. Really helping that cause as he gets a pin at 126. 132, Asen Meyer versus Sam Kelling. Gave 6 to Meyer here. Meyer, a solid wrestler, and Kelling, again, just has a lot of pins against him, going against him on his track resume. So Meyer gets another pin here. 1-38. This got our first swing match. So Rapids will be green. Amory will be red. Actually, what I'm going to do here, folks, I'm going to refresh every time we have a swing match, and I'll start the wheel at a different spot every time too. The first swing match does go to Joseph Wentz at 138. 145 pounds, Mason Ty Lee versus Josh Black. We'll refresh because we got another swing match. It's 55-45 in favor of Ty Lee. And this time we'll wait until the arrow gets closer to Rapids. And we'll see if it comes back around, but Ty Lee picks up another big win at 145. So Amory 2 for 2 on the swing matches, makes the score 26-12, 152. So Amory chose to bump Wyatt Ingham away from Brett Bach, which is a very understandable decision. I think that's something we'd probably see in the actual duel as well. They got backup Trevor Hinton there, and Brett Bach in Brett Bach fashion does pick up a pin, makes it 32-12 for Rapids. 160 pounds, Bennett Weidman versus Wyatt Ingham. This one, they both have 2-point losses to Hunter Rudzinski. Against common opponents, it's fairly similar. Wyatt does have somewhat better results against common opponents. So Weidman here, he has the 55-45 advantage. Oh, sorry. I'll refresh here. This time around, ball's in Amory's court as we'll spin the wheel now. And we'll see if it comes back around, but Wyatt Ingham does get the win at 160. Folks, a lot of these swing matches are matches I'd want to see in real life as well. 170 pounds, Kyler Tritz versus Eddie Symes. This one is either a major tech or a pin for Symes. So 32-15 between Rapids and Amory now, basically coming down to Amory's got to win out here. They got one more match, one more swing match. We know for sure. We know what's coming at 195 and 220 more than likely, but Eddie Symes, we got one last 3-wheel for the road. 40% chance of a major for Symes, 50% chance of a tech, and a 10% chance of a pin. And tech with the highest percentage to happen, and that's exactly what happens here. As Symes picks up 5, which brings us to Ashton Fisher versus Grant Cook. Got a 55-45 advantage for Cook here. Again, a lot of similar results versus common opponents. I think there was one or two guys where Cook had a slightly better chance or had a slightly better match than Fisher did, hence the 5% advantage. And I know we've been on the line the last few times. We're going to give a little dramatics here as we got to wait for the line to fall within Rapids this time. And a match that essentially decides the fate of Ultimate Team State. So we'll go right now. We'll see if Amory can pick up one more win, and it's going to fall right on the line here. And wow, that 5% going to Cook is huge for Amory as Cook picks up the win at 182. And folks, I mean, this is how the wheel operates, I guess. Amory wins 4 swing matches in a row, and they get to close out with Cale Hopke at 195, who gets a pin. And then who else to close out Ultimate Team State than Coy Hopke, who world champ this summer. He's taken on Tanner Gormanson, and Gormanson has had good results against good wrestlers this year, but going against the world champ, that's Coy Hopke with, what better way to go out on Ultimate Team State than a pin to win by Hopke. I mean, a pin to win in general. But folks, what a duel. I think Rapids came in, and if they win 7 matches, they win the duel. And just like I like to say, you don't leave things up to the wheel, but that's exactly what we're doing in this hypothetical world. So Rapids as the 1 seed ends up finishing second. Amory as the 3 seed ends up winning the tournament. And folks, I just want to say thank you for tuning in and watching Ultimate Team State. It was really fun. We put a lot of time into it. I think it created some good conversation, and we're hoping to do it a little earlier in the year next year. But no, we just had a great time with this. I was like getting genuinely excited, especially during that last duel. Like I said, I think you see a team like Rapids, you see a team like Milton, who did pretty well. Wausau West ended up placing at 2, but teams that didn't make it out of their regionally show that it's definitely good that we're going to see more teams getting a chance to do duels this year. So thanks, folks, for tuning in terms of the actual podcast. We got the D2 Sectional D preview coming out tomorrow. D3 Sectional D will be coming out next Monday. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in for Ultimate Team State. We appreciate all the support so far. Thanks to everyone who stayed active in the chat throughout, everyone who sat through all 62 duels. And till you listen to us next time, we will catch you on the flip side.